If you ever felt like you have zero proof, like you're doing everything right, but nothing is showing up yet, this video is for you. Because today, I'm going to give you a perspective that completely changed the way that I handled delays, discouragement, and setbacks when building the vision that I am building, and it feels like there's a lack of progress. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to keep building the life that you want, the vision that you have, even when you don't see results yet. If we're honest, at some point in building anything that is meaningful to us, and if you ask anybody, you will hit a moment where you start questioning everything. It's like you start asking yourself, when is this actually going to happen? Why is it taking so long? Am I even on the right path? And what am I doing? It's actually not about the timeline. What you're actually asking is, when will I finally see proof that this is working? That what I'm doing is actually going to become a reality? Because it's easy to stay committed when we see movement. It's easy to stay motivated when there is evidence. But what about when there's nothing? No results, no prophetic word, no confirmation, no physical evidence, no visible progress. That's where most people stop. That's where most people stop believing, but not you, because you're watching this. And here's the truth of what I learned. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Let me say that again. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. It means that just because you don't see it yet, it doesn't mean it's not forming. And this is not just a cliche. But if you don't understand this, you'll quit in the middle of a process that was actually working. Did you know that the last place your vision actually shows up is your physical reality? Yeah, that is all that we focus on. But everything you experience follows a pattern if you pay attention. First, you see it in your mind. Everything that we see started with an idea. Then somebody became the person to carry that vision and bring it to life. And then they started noticing small forms of evidence until it actually became real. But most people skip that middle part that we're talking about. I call it the evidence gap. They have an idea, then they immediately look for proof. And when they don't see it, they assume that it's not working. But again, I ask you to think about this. We understand this process in every area of life. A seed does not grow overnight. A baby doesn't develop in a week. Seasons do not change instantly. There is always a period where something is happening, even when we can't see it yet. And the same thing applies to something that you're building. The only difference is, in those situations that I just described about the seed, the baby, we know the process and we know that there's an expected date. But realistically, when it comes to our lives, which is expected, when we don't know, we naturally panic. So the real question becomes, Marie, if I don't control the timing, what do I actually control? This is where everything shifts. This is exactly why and how I created my vision plan of action. Because I realized that every time I saw something come to life, every time that I had a successful vision to reality thing happen in my life, I wasn't just hoping, praying, or manifesting things. I was following a pattern. And this is what, when you study success principles, this is what happens. It's a pattern of things. I'm going to run through it with you. We're not going to go into it, but in those things, I had a clear desire. I set a direction and intention. I stayed committed without trying to control everything to happen. I gathered evidence, which is what people call a vision board, but I gathered specific evidence to give emotion to the fact that what I want is real. I took one faith action step. I didn't care what it was. I took one action step to make sure that I start taking action. I definitely changed my language and my environment. I built accountability and support by sharing it with people I trust and who will be a steward of the vision that I have. And of course, I stayed consistent long enough for it to materialize, because everything needs time. What this does is something powerful. It allows you to create evidence before the outcome shows up. I have to be honest with you that this principle works, but it also taught me something in a very hard way. I had a vision of getting a specific car. I saw it clearly. I aligned my mindset. I did the work of my vision plan of action. I just didn't know it back then. But I wasn't fully ready to sustain the vision financially, mentally. I wasn't fully prepared, and I ended up losing the car. And in that moment, it taught me something that I will never forget, and I want to share with you. Just because something shows up, it doesn't mean that you're ready to keep it, and it doesn't mean that you're ready to build on it. Sometimes the delay that you're frustrated about not seeing is actually development. The lack of evidence that you're worried about is protection. Because there's some things in you that are being built right now that your future self requires. There's probably an area in your life right now that still needs alignment with who you're trying to become and what you're trying to build. Something that if your vision, whether it would be your husband, your future wife, that business, that leadership role, that new wealth that you're trying to build, when it comes, it might actually overwhelm you and everything falls apart. What I want to reframe for you is that this is not failure. This is called preparation. To sum up, my new perspective to you is don't get discouraged when you don't see evidence yet of what you're building. Don't rush the process that's building you, and do not abandon the vision just because it hasn't shown up physically yet. Because your mind is an incubator. It is a soil that holds the seed of your thoughts, what you think, what you speak, what you act on. And I promise you, those things will eventually become your reality. This week, I want you to do something simple. Don't try to fix everything. Just pick one area in your life that feels like there's tension in that and ask yourself, what might be developing in me right now that I can't see yet? And if you're willing, share it in the comments, because in this community, we are building up one another and encouraging each other on the journey of building the life that we want. And finally, I want you to remember always that your vision, that idea in your head, the life that you want, is not random. It's meant to be built. I'll see you next time.